So we've got Greg in Florida who wants to find out why slavery is immoral, which is perhaps one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. Greg, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Do you think I should be allowed by law to own you as property?
If it's okay with you, Matt, I'd prefer not having a conversation as to what you and I personally believe, but rather more in terms of having a logical conversation about what...
I'm sorry that you think a conversation about what we believe is in any way not logical, but it will only be not logical on your end. I asked a question. Do you feel that it should be legally permissible for me to own you as a slave, as property?
That it seems like a really simple question to answer, but...
It is a really simple question to answer. The answer is no. If your answer is yes, then come on over. I got lots of shit in the garage that needs doing.
Matt, may I approach it from a different direction?
Are you going to answer my question?
Well, personally, I don't want to be anybody's slave.
Okay. See, instead of looking for traps, as I've had this conversation many more times than you have, maybe trust that I know what I'm asking. So if you don't want to be my slave and I don't want to be your slave, why isn't that enough?
So I would like to take it kind of away from humans for just a moment, because
I'm not, because slavery is all about fucking humans. Why would you want to take it away from humans? Do you have some plan that precludes you from actually discussing the thing that you wanted to discuss?
Well, no.
Stick with humans.
This is actually, my question isn't about just only humans, though, and that's what I'd like your help with.
But that's what slavery is. You called in to ask why slavery is immoral. Slavery only applies to other humans. If you're here to make a subtle animal rights point, just don't.
It's not for animal rights. It's more for why does it make sense? Like, is it okay if I ask you a question? It seems like you're not super...
I guess it's just frustrating to me that you will not answer mine. So when I don't answer yours, are you going to have any cause to be able to complain?
No. That's fair.
Okay.
If you want to answer it, that's okay. It's your...
So go ahead, ask your question.
What is the difference between owning a horse or owning a cow or owning a sheep or owning a person other than...
Finally!
Because we are...
Finally, do we grant equal rights to those other animals? Can a horse vote?
So I apologize for not knowing how to...
Can a horse vote? Just answer the questions. This will all be easy. Can a horse vote?
Of course not.
Can a horse drive?
As far as we know, probably no to everything.
Can a horse express itself and talk about what rights it wants and what rights it doesn't want?
Understood. I don't want to assume that I know where you're going, but no to all these questions.
Correct. So there's a difference between horses and humans, right?
Certainly.
Yeah. And we grant different rights to different species on a regular basis, right?
It would seem so.
And we've granted human beings the right to bodily autonomy and freedom such that they are not subject to being owned by someone, because we recognize that the world is a worse place when we allow people to be enslaved, that this has a net negative impact on the world, right?
Right. So that similarly had that.
Does the world have a net negative? Does the world suffer a net negative impact when I have a horse?
I don't think so.
Good. Now that should answer all of your questions, right? About why slavery is immoral, why we don't allow for enslaving humans, why it's different. By the way, I don't think we own or enslave animals. We are custodians of animals, and we can step in and take those animals away from people who are abusing and mistreating them. You don't have the right to just beat your animals. You don't have the right to be cruel, but it's not so much that this cat is my property as much as I am the custodian of this cat. It's not slavery. It's not the same. Slavery means you no longer have autonomy. You no longer have a right to say in what you do, that you are my property to treat as I want, because my television is my property and I can break it with a sledgehammer. I can't do that with people. I can't do that with animals. And we don't have animals as slaves, and we definitely don't keep humans as slaves. Kids are people. They're not slaves. You are the guardian of children. You don't own children as property. That's to answer somebody else in chat who tried to come up with something. Now do you understand why slavery is immoral?
Thank you for clarifying that one.
Sure.